Well, all the ingredients are here, aren't they? A very much informed lower league team.
Is this the chance? It is the chance, and it's the goal that they craved.
And scored too! David Bale puts his name up in lights and Wembley.
Which has been in chaos off the pitch, is in harmony on it.
Hello and welcome to Inside the Change Room. Today we are joined by a man who fired AFC Wimbledon quite literally into the Football League with a winning penalty at the Etihad Stadium. He then joined his boyhood club in 2011. His success carried on the year after, spearheading Gills to their League Two title in 2013. He then went on to Ebbsfleet. His success did not stop there. He then won the playoffs for Ebbsfleet United, putting them back into the Conference Prem under Darren McMahon. He now plies his trade at Havant Waterlooville. We're joined by the man, Mr. Danny Kedwell. Danny, how are you?
How are you? You okay?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good.
Good. As ever, we're joined by Jacob. Jacob, how are you?
I'm good, cheers, mate.
Yeah, Danny, it all started. Let's go right back to the start then. Back in 2001 with local club, my local club, and certainly your local club, Chatham Town. What made you get into football, and why football?
It's just something I loved, mate. Really, from really young age. Like my dad and my uncles and that used to play, obviously Sunday league. When I was like 5 or 6, I was joining in with them. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit crazy, really, playing with men at that age. And they didn't take it lightly either in them days either. So I used to get kicked and stuff like that. So, but I just loved the game, mate, really. Like, just being around them sort of people, like, made me love the game so much. Knowing that they weren't even that great, do you know what I mean? It was just Sunday league football, but they loved it. I just loved being around all that. It was good.
Of course, it was your first club as well. Like, for a young player, what was the environment like there in general for a young player like yourself to progress?
At Chatham Town?
Yeah.
To be fair, the year I went in there to the under-18s, which I was 16 at the time, and I was a centre midfielder, and I scored 50 goals in my first season. Like, we won the league.
Wow.
Scored 50 goals from centre midfield. And then literally I signed for the first team that year after that season finished. And Stevie Earns, we had a pre-season, we've done all pre-season, and we had a pre-season friendly, our first one, and 2 of our strikers were out injured. So he said, you're going to have to play up front. He said, you score goals from midfield, so I reckon you can score some goals up front. And literally from there, like, I scored a hat-trick in that game, in a pre-season game, and I was like, bloody hell, I'm all right up front. I'm all right. And ever since then, I've never looked back. And that, from then on, I just thought to myself, do you know what? I've got a good chance here, like, to go a bit further than playing in the Kent League. Do you know what I mean? I thought, I need something to, like, have that season there. And it was on and off. I was young. I was a bit naive. Do you know what I mean? I was just going out with my mates and all the time, and I didn't take it that serious. But it wasn't actually until I went to Herne Bay that I realised that I've actually got something here. Do you know what I mean? I need to knuckle down, and then obviously I met my wife, so she sorted me out.
Yeah, wow. I mean, like you just said there, Dan, that like went to Herne Bay, that you like actually knuckled down. Obviously, before that, it was a 3-year spell. You were with Chatham for a year between 01 and 02.
Yeah.
And then between 02 and 05, it was Tunbridge, Fisher, Lordswood, Maidstone, and then obviously Herne Bay.
Yeah.
What kind of explain what happened between that time of Tunbridge, Fisher, Lordswood, and Maidstone? Why was it that you just couldn't kind of knuckle down at those clubs? Was it unhappiness or what?
No, it wasn't unhappiness, mate. It was down to myself, really.
Yeah.
Just got like wanting to be. I wanted a bit of both. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
like, I didn't just knuckle down at these clubs and focus on that. I just liked going out with my mates on a Friday night and a Saturday, do you know what I mean? And doing stupid things, like just not getting home too early hours in the morning on a Saturday morning and going to play. And do you know what I mean? It's just like, just 17, 18-year-old kid, do you know what I mean? Just getting around with the wrong people and stuff like that. And I enjoyed carrying on playing my Sunday football as well with Quested. Like, I went and played Sunday football. I just loved playing football constantly. I'd 5-a-side during the week and with all my mates and stuff like that. And then, like I say, until I met Jason Ellis and he said to me, mate, you need to stop all this, like, stop playing 5-a-side. You need to be on a contract. So I was on non-contracts, do you know what I mean? It was just...
Yeah.
So until then, I actually signed a contract. I was like, wow, I've signed a contract. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is amazing. But yeah, just in them years there, I just didn't have the right people around me to tell me to sort my head out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was just, it felt like they was against me all the time.
Right.
So I just got, you know what, I ain't even going to bother. But I just do what I want to do.
Never kind of had that person to put an arm around you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to get hold of me and tell me, do you know what I mean? They just expected me to do it. They always just tell me, Dan, like, mate, you've got such a good talent. You need to, like, come and sort your head out a bit. But that was it. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, do it yourself. Yeah. And then until, like I say, Jason Ellis got hold of me, mate, and looked after me. And sorted me right out. And then that's when I did realise I'm going to go up. So I scored 28 goals that year. And so it was like, and then Welling obviously come in. And then from there, really, it was just because I knuckled down and I wanted to be a professional footballer, because a lot of people doubted me that I wouldn't because of the way I was at a young age. It's like, even when I was at home, I went to Gillingham on trial when I was in the Championship.
Wow.
When Ebbsfleet was there, and like, I was absolutely flying. I thought, I'm going to get signed here. I've got to get signed. I was like in training and all sorts. You know what I mean, scoring from all sorts of like different angles and everything. I was like,
that must have been unbelievable. Because we've never heard that story, but you obviously going into trial then when you were at Herne Bay, going into trial at Gills.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that you're a Boyhood fan. And that it's your club. I mean, do you remember that day from like going in trial? What was it like? Obviously, the players under Hess at the time were kind of unbelievable, being in the Championship. What was it like being?
You know what? When I first went in there was like a group, like the older boys, like Ady Pennock and Ashby and Saunders, like all them older boys.
Yeah,
they were top class, mate. They were like really welcomed me, looked after. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were not good to be around. And then there was some donuts. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, like, just, I don't know what it was, but like Marlon King, he was like an absolute bellend towards me for some reason.
Really?
Like,
really?
Yeah, he was a dick, mate. He was being an absolute dick towards me. Like, anything I'd done, it was like he'd moan or he'd have a dig at me, or do you know what I mean?
Do you think that's kind of because you were coming from that non-league route? It was kind of, I'm better than you, as such.
Yeah, probably was, and he was probably better than me. Do you know what I mean? But it was something good, to be fair, because that's something I've never ever would do. Like young kids, like, you speak to any players, like, I always put my arm around them and looked after them, and I still do now. And I think that's where it probably come from. But yeah, it's just literally like I say, people talk and stuff like that. And then one day, he rang me. I was ill on the Sunday. I played on a Saturday for Herne Bay, and then on the Sunday, I was ill. And so I rang him up, and he was like, "No, you've been out. You was on the drink." And I was thinking, "No, I won't."
Wow.
Like, you're not coming back. Don't come back.
Oh.
So it was just like people talk. Do you know what I mean?
What, someone had told him that?
Yeah, obviously someone told him something, a lie somewhere. But I was actually ill, so I was in bed for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Couldn't get out, but someone said that I'd been out over the weekend, which I actually weren't.
How did you feel at the time?
I felt gutted, because I was actually doing really well. And it was like I say, like my boyhood club, and I was buzzing that I was even there on trial. But I was, I've always asked this, even when he signed me back from Wimbledon.
He did.
I said, "Who told you?" And he still wouldn't tell me now. So I think he'd think I'll go and knock him out. But yeah, so yeah, it was hard to take because it was lies. Do you know what I mean? If I'm one of them people, James, if I'm in the wrong, I hold my hand up and I'll be honest. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, I've messed it up myself. But actually, when you're actually ill and you ain't done nothing and you hear that,
I know you're a good, honest guy. I know that you'd never. You certainly your boyhood club. Like, why would anyone throw a dream like that away? And I know for a fact that when you moved to us eventually in 2011, I was absolutely over the moon you were at joining us. So you weren't going to, certainly at that age, you ever going to do something like that. And I know you personally, you wouldn't do anything like that anyway.
Well, the thing is, it's like, if I would have got signed at that young age, in a championship club, where would I have gone? Do you know what I mean? Where would I have ended up?
Yeah.
So it's hard to take that as well because, listen, I've done really well in my career and I've worked hard for it, but you never know what I could have gone there and scored a few goals at a young age. You never know what happens. Do you know what I mean? So
very true.
It's a bit disappointing in that way that someone's told him a lie. And obviously it stopped me from progressing obviously further up.
Yeah. Going back to Herne Bay as well, you mentioned that the management really got the best out of you. Well, when we talked to Liam Nash the other day, he said that in order to do that for him, he had to feel like he was sort of the main man, if you get what I mean. How do you feel they got the best out of you, obviously scoring 28 goals that season?
Just like the arm around me, really. Just he used to tell me how good I was, and he treated everyone the same. Like, he wouldn't treat me better than others because I was scoring all the goals. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He'd push me more. Jace, it's like if I score 2, he'd say that ain't good enough. I want 3. That's the way he was with me.
Really?
Yeah. So to be fair to him, it worked. Because the following week I scored 3. And he go, told you. Do you know what I mean? So in that sort of environment, I've never been that sort of player where I feel I have to be the best, like to make the best out of me. I always feel like I'm the worst. To get the best out of me, I've got to work harder. Like, I'm not the best player here. I'm not the best centre forward. I've got to make sure I'm the best centre forward and I'm playing next week. That's my mentality. Every game I go into, I'll be like, right, I've got to do my best to make sure I play next week. That's how I've always played.
Fair enough. And also, as a young player, you're performing well at Herne Bay and all that, and eventually you get your move to Welling. But at the time, at the club, were you aware of the interest from other clubs? I imagine there was quite a lot of interest as a young player. Yeah,
there was a few, but not in the Conference South. There was obviously some leagues in the Ryman Prem and stuff like that. But in the Conference South, when AD come, when he first, Jason Linnis rung me, and he said that AD Pennett's going to ring you at Welling. I was like, all right, decent, because he looked after me, like I said earlier. He did actually look after me when I was there. He was a top lad, do you know what I mean, towards me. So when he rung me and he said, I want you to come sign for us, he went, when you come in Gillingham, I couldn't believe we didn't sign you. Even he said, I see something that others didn't see, that how good you actually really were. So when he rang and obviously told me that, and he wants me to push me on a bit further, like Jason said to me, look, I'm staying here, I'm not going any higher or anything like that. You need to push your own career. I've started you off, go and do what you got to do, which is really good as well.
Yeah, 38 goals in 70 games under 80 at Welling. Unbelievable time for you there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That's what I mean. It was just so enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? He made it so. With AD, he was such a good manager. And he'd have both sides of him. Do you know what I mean? He'd have his game head on, he'd have his angry head on, but he'd have his banter with it. Because he's a funny man. Do you know what I mean? He was a funny man.
Well, that as well. It was like your longest stay you'd made at a club. I mean, you lasted 2 seasons there. Would you say that was the biggest factor in that?
Yeah, like I say, mate, I was really enjoying it. And obviously, my first year in that sort of level, like the highest I've played, to get 20 odd goals, I think I've got that year, my first year. I just thought I've got to go again. I want to, because I could have gone somewhere else as well. I can't remember what club it was. Some other club come in and I turned it down for some reason. I think it was in the same league, to be honest. But that's why I thought we just missed out on the playoffs, so by a couple of points on the last game of the season. So I wanted to get that promotion. Do you know what I mean, with them?
Yeah. I mean, we'll speak about AD. We'll speak about AD, Dan. Obviously, Gills fans watching this, AD at the managerial wise is probably not in Gills fans' good books in terms of the way it went there. But are you shocked at the way it went at Gills? Because obviously, work with AD, we've spoken before. You speak highly of him. Yeah, are you shocked at the way it went at Gills in terms of what happened?
Yeah, listen. I think it's like any job really, like in football, in district, like in football in general. It's like you go to clubs and you do really well there, and then you don't change any different way you approach players, your formation. When you're a manager or a coach, like obviously I've been coaching for years.
Yeah.
And I think when I become manager, I think you have to change certain things, but I just think he didn't have the best of luck. Do you know what I mean? It's like he went to first grade, he's done really well there. He's done well at other clubs. But unfortunately, of a club where he was an absolute legend, do you know what I mean? He was such a good player for him. Yeah. But the managerial side didn't go that well. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's like, look at Essie, do you know what I mean? It's like he's had, how many goes at it? He's had loads.
Yeah.
Times at being manager there, and it just never switched for him because he's such a good manager. He is. He's like Mr. Motivator. Do you know what I mean? I love my time with Essie, but just some things don't click, and then they find a club and it just clicks. And unfortunately, it didn't click for him.
Do you think, like you speak about Hesse there, you speak about AD, worked under the both of them, both kind of not, obviously Hesse's first spell kind of player manager worked out brilliantly for him. Then obviously in League Two, it didn't really work as well. Do you think almost like you look at managers that have gone in from the outside, where talking about Gills, where Martin Allen went in, success, Justin come in, success, Steve Evans obviously playing good football at the moment. You think almost Hess and Pennock had too much love for the club and couldn't kind of see it any other different way, and it ended up hindering the way they ended up working for the football club because where they had too much love, it hurt them too much. Yeah,
I think so. Like, you can tell when we lost the game how much it to other managers. You know what I mean? Like, when I've been with managers and they ain't got that involvement of where they played at the club, and you lose the game, they try it differently to get you motivated, or come on next game, or come on, we've got to do better than this, like we've got to do this, do that, or things like that. But I think with Hess, when we lost with Hess, he had so much passion in him, and it felt like he wanted to be out. Do you know what I mean? It was just, he was more gutted than what other managers were. Do you know what I mean? But he showed it. They might not have been, but he showed it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You see the anger in him that we lost, because he loves the club. Do you know what I mean? He's been there for years. Do you know what I mean? And how many times he's been managing and stuff like that. He thought Gillingham was going to be in his heart for the rest of his life. So it meant more to him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if, like I say, he didn't change. Might have just had to change a few bits in his own head. But listen, when you're a manager, your own manager, do you know what I mean? And who has that success there? Do you know what I mean? Like who actually has?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Martin Allen won the league.
Yeah.
Manager that won that. Obviously, Peter Taylor got promoted through a playoffs. That's success. Do you know what I mean? And what's his name? Stimo.
Yeah.
So really, there's only like 4 that have had success. You can say like no one really else has, because success is promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not just them two that ain't success there.
Yeah.
None of the others really have them, because
very true.
What's success? Staying up in the league.
Depends what your ambitions are as a football club, isn't it?
Sitting 9th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Success is in managers, mate. It's promotions and winning things.
Very true.
Going back to your time at Welling, of course, you then made the move to Grays Athletic in 2007. That was like a club record, £12,000. Yeah. When you have that label as a player of being a club record signing, for yourself, did that really play on your mind at all?
Nah, not really. I took it into my stride, really.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know actually how much it was until like a few months later, because it had to go to a tribunal because I was under 24.
Okay.
So I think so I didn't really know that it was like 12 grand. I just knew what my basic wage. I was thinking, bloody hell, that's jumped up.
Yeah.
From like £150 a week to like nearly up near the thousands. You know what I mean? It was like, what is going on here?
Wow.
So yeah, it was hard to take, to be fair. Because I was thinking, I'm going into full time. This is my, do you know what I mean? I had to stop working and stuff that I've been working 7, 8 years before that. Do you know what I mean? And it was hard graft, going to work, going training. Do you know what I mean? It was very tiring. So going into that full time, it was hard for the first few months, I must say, like especially pre-season.
Would you say that was like a turning point in like your attitude to the game in general? Like you said, when you were younger, you'd like go on nights out and all that. But when you made that step up into like full time, was this when you really said like, now I've got to knuckle down because this could be the making of me? Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I think, like I say, the first day of when I first signed for Bay, that's when I started knuckling down properly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, when I went actually full time, and then like even them days, it was like Santander, like we was playing on telly as well in the conference, and it was like, bloody hell, I've gone from playing in front of no one to suddenly like I could be recognised here more. Do you know what I mean? Because we're playing on telly or whatever. And to be fair, the year and a bit I was at Grays, I didn't enjoy it one bit. I hated it. I hated it. Don't know. I just didn't. Like I say about managers, mate, it just don't click. Didn't click for me. That's where Herne Bay and Welling, where I had that. I don't know if that was coming from, like I said earlier, where I always thought never thought I was the best player.
Yeah.
But I actually was. Do you know what I mean? It was weird. And when I went there, I'm playing with players that have played in the conference, played in the Football League, that have dropped down, and then I'm thinking, oh my God. What's that?
Wow. I mean, yeah, you left Grays. This is where kind of you started making your name in 2008 because you joined AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I mean, you went and spent 3 years there. You played 118 games, scoring 58 goals. Yeah, Dan, let's speak a little bit. We'll speak quite a bit about your time at Wimbledon. I know from previous interviews when we've talked, you absolutely love that club, and you still do.
Yeah.
Was it obviously your time at Grays didn't quite work out the way you wanted it to? Was it a case that Wimbledon just come along at the right time, in the right time of your career, and it was a club perfectly made for you?
Yeah, mate, honestly, James, you could not believe what actually happened. Because we played on a Sunday, we played Kidderminster.
Yeah. Who was this for? Was this for Wimbledon?
Grays.
Grays,
No,
right.
for Grays.
Yeah.
On the Sunday, we played on a Sunday, so we was off on the Monday.
Yeah.
I didn't, like I say, I didn't have my best time there. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really play that well.
Right.
And on the Tuesday, on the Monday we was off. On the Tuesday we went in, and I said to Neil Smith, Smudger, and I said, mate, I made my mind up after the game. I was like, I can't be here no more. I need to go. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm not getting the best out of me. I'm not enjoying it, going in every day training. It was just like hard work. Do you know what I mean? And then, so on a Tuesday, and he was like, look, listen, I ain't going to stop you. If that's what you want to do, if the club comes in, keep coming in. He said, like, and I'll put your name out. And then about an hour later on the way home, I was driving home. About an hour later, I was near Dartford Bridge. And he goes to me, he rings me, and I was like, oh no, what's happening here? So he goes, kids, you ain't going to believe this. He said, I've literally had a phone call from Wimbledon. They come and watched you on Sunday. The manager and chairman come and watched you. I said, all right. And he said, do you fancy it? They're going to buy you. And I was like,
wow.
Hang on, let me just think about it. Let me just put the phone down. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this is mad. What's going on here? I've just asked to leave.
Yeah.
And then this has happened.
Yeah, because what level were they at the time?
There was Conference South.
Okay.
So it was like, I think it was October time. It was near the winter time. I remember it was near the winter time. And yeah, and then literally he said, look, I'll send you Terry's number, give him a call, the manager, and see what you think. So yeah, I literally rung him and he said, come and meet me at the training ground. We're training tonight, which is like obviously on a Tuesday. He said, we're training tonight, like get there about 8:30, something like that, after training. I was like, yeah, all right, no worries. So I've gone out and met him, mate. As soon as I walked in and just the people and like Terry, their house, I was like, this club's for me.
Really?
Just their background of like, he was explaining that the fans, it's like a fans club. They built the club back up. We're like 2 leagues away from being in the football league where they want to be back at. And it was just like, I was so buzzing. It was like the first time I've ever buzzed about signing for a club. And obviously you hear about it like before, like on Soccer AM, like I used to hear about AFC Wimbledon, and they used to like do a little bit of documentary about them, didn't they? So
yeah,
for a bit about when they was coming up the leagues. So yeah, as soon as I saw, I was like, yeah, I'm signing. I want to sign. And then literally on the Thursday I was training.
Would you say, like, having bought into the club vision of obviously getting back into the Football League and everything surrounding Wimbledon at the time, would you say like you related to the fans more as well? Was that something that attracted you?
Yeah, honestly, the fans were unbelievable, mate. Like, I've never been to a club where if you didn't win, you're still getting clapped off. Do you know what I mean? Like them days, because they such appreciated that their club was back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was their club's back playing football. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, because the attendances at the time were unbelievable for that level, weren't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we had Hampton and Richmond, my first game on a Saturday at home. And obviously, like, Grays was only like 700 fans or whatever. It was obviously bigger than what, like, Welling was nearly 1,800 some week. But then I was on the bench. He put me on the bench, obviously, because they won the week before. And I remember, like, warming up, and I was thinking, God, this is getting busy. And it weren't until I come out to get onto the dugout, the noise, mate, I was like, wow, this is crazy for this level. Like, this is mental. And then from then, mate, that's when I just buzzed. I was just like, I was in a different world. It was like crazy. Like, the difference of my emotions was like completely mental. Like, from just going out playing. Like, obviously I was always buzzing that I was playing, but I can't explain it. It was like a different emotion every time I went out and played at Kings Meadow in front of the fans. It was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, you joined in 2008. Wasn't till kind of 3 years later. Obviously you got one promotion. The next promotion was obviously the most important one after that. which was obviously the one that you fired back. You fired Wimbledon back into the Football League. I mean, yeah, talk about that season as a whole. Did you always know that year you had the squad, you were ready to go?
Yeah, I think
talk about that year.
The first year in the conference, obviously we finished just outside the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I actually thought to myself, like, we're actually only like 3 or 4 players away from doing well, getting in the playoffs. I didn't think we'd win it. I just thought we've got a good chance of going all the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember my contract ran out because I signed an 18 months. So I had my first bit when we got promoted to Conference South from October, November to that year, and then I had another year. Yeah. Obviously, that conference, so I went in, had signed a new deal, 2-year deal. And I said to Terry, this is the year. And he was like, what are you doing? I went, we're going to get promoted. And he was like, yeah, you think? I went, if you put me captain, we'll get promoted. And he laughed. And he went, really? I said, yeah, I want to be captain. So put me captain, I'll get you promoted. It was like, mate, you couldn't read it. You couldn't put a book in it. You even asking, mate. It was mental. And then obviously that whole year it was just everything clicked, mate. Yeah. I must say, like, everything, like the players, we had such a good team bonding, team group. Like the group was just frightening. Like every day was just, it was like the old Wimbledon days. Do you know what I mean? It was like proper banter all the time. Changing room, there's all sorts going on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But on the football pitch, it was like we was completely different. It was like we work hard.
Yeah, go on. I asked you before. I asked you about half an hour before this podcast started about your stories at Wimbledon. Are there any ones that you can you managed to think about in that short amount of time that you can kind of tell the Wimbledon fans that they might not have heard?
To be fair, no, it was just, I ain't got really there weren't nothing I could say that was absolutely like mental.
Anything on here, is that what you mean?
Yeah. But just the banter flying, just in general banter. Yeah. That's what we had, like, do you know what I mean? Like the old cutting of socks and deep eating people's pants, do you know what I mean? Things like that, like we used to do it all the time, like even in our castle. I can't remember who it was. It was James Pullen, I think. That was the first year at Wimbledon. We put this fish down the back of his car, and after about 4 or 5 days, he went, hey, I've cleaned my car in that, and I can't get this smell out. It stinks of fish. We burst out laughing, like we just can't stop laughing. He's like, what are you laughing at? So we opened his car, mate. Honestly, the smell was horrendous.
Oh.
And he was like, I can't get rid of it. And then we didn't even tell him still. He was like, what is that? It's like someone's dead in your car. Like, have you checked your boot? But we literally didn't put it through, so we just put it in the crease bit. So you couldn't
even see it.
You couldn't see it. No, you would never have seen it.
Who were the biggest characters from your time at Wimbledon?
Lukey Gerrard was a funny man.
Yeah.
In my first year there, he was hilarious. Johnny Main. To be fair, everyone had their bit, mate.
Yeah.
Like, everyone had a bit.
Still speak to anyone now from that time?
Yeah, I always speak to Mainly, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always speak. To be fair, I speak to quite a few, like Seb and that, like on occasions, the goalkeeper, and yeah, like most of them, really.
Yeah.
They only ever ring me when they want something. I mean, can you get this? Can you do that?
Speak about that day. We've got to speak about that day at the Etihad. I know we've spoken before, and you can tell the story when you were walking up for that penalty. I know you said before it's a little bit of a blur, kind of that whole day. Did you always know as a squad that it was your time?
Yes. Not before the game.
No.
Because looking at a very good side, the players they had and stuff like that, I was like, mate, we're going to have to be at our top.
Yeah.
They're like, be beating these, do you know what I mean? And it wasn't until when we went extra time, I said to the boys, like, I'll tell you now, they've not took their chances. This is where we've got to take advantage. And I think, like, in a time we hit the post, like, Yaks had a great header, like, he should have scored. Nicked it off my head, to be fair, so I went a bit mad. So, yeah, and then it went to the penalties, mate, because we've been taking penalties 2 weeks before. Like, every day we was training, we'd always finish on penalties, leading up, even the semi-finals when we was playing in the semis against Fleetwood. And that's why we all ended up having our 5. And I was thinking, mate, we've got some penalty takers here. If we can keep our nerve, because obviously in a training ground it's different, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if we can keep our nerve on the day, we got a better chance than what they have, because we had some great penalty takers, mate. Or even you see them, apart from one. So yes, I think then, and obviously when I went up to my penalty, I turned around to the lads and said, like, this is our time. I just knew it. It was crazy, mate.
Of course, crazy. It was a huge occasion for the club at the time as well.
Yeah.
For the manager, Terry Brown, how did he sort of prepare you for that game? Like, what was the sort of messages that he was giving?
Do you know what? We went up there. So we played on the Saturday. We travelled up there on a Thursday.
Right.
So we was up there obviously 2 days before the game.
Wow.
So like the Thursday, we got up there. We had our dinner. We got up there late afternoon. Sorry, had dinner. Had a bit of banter, people singing and stuff like that. And then Saturday we trained on a Saturday, and then he got everything across, what we wanted to do, how we was playing, blah blah blah, and then in the evening he let us. We all went bowling and had something to eat. Do you know what I mean? He never put any. You had to be in at this time, or obviously we had a curfew, like make sure you're not out before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it weren't like a curfew, right? We've got a massive cup final, right? He just took that pressure off us.
Yeah.
It was like, go out and have a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? Don't be sitting in your room thinking about this.
He trusted you, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He did trust. Listen, if you're going into a playoff final the next day anyway, even me as a manager, if I'm telling you you've got a massive playoff final tomorrow, you ain't going to be stupid enough to be out and doing stupid things. Do you know what I mean?
Not if you cared, no.
No, exactly. So he trusted in us in a group. We had a good group. Do you know what I mean? So we all went bowling. Some people went for something to eat. There was like a little bowling alley just right opposite the hotel, to be fair. And there was like some food stuff there. And just, we'd done that. And we was all back in our room, like went back. People were playing cards. Do you know what I mean? Because some people, like even me, it's like when I'm at home on a game day, I won't go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock. I'll go to bed when I want to. So when we used to travel away to away games and stay in a hotel and you're sitting in your room, it's like, I couldn't handle it. It was just like, I hate this. I hated it, mate. Because it was just like, even like I'll go up and have a walk about, or I'll go out in the garden. Do you know what I mean? Even at night, I'll just do my own thing. And when I couldn't do my own thing, it was hard. So for him to let us go out and just have a walk about and do some bowling and stuff like that, I got home, mate. I was knackered. I was in bed. I was gone. Like 11 o'clock, I was asleep, like completely. As where normally, like things play on my mind. Like I'd be in bed and I'd be like, "Oh, do this tomorrow or do that," and do you know what I mean? Like footballing mentality, like what you think you can do, what you should do tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just think that's what he done really well. Preparation was perfect, mate.
Do you think that's a benefit of knowing your players inside out as well?
Yeah, because even on the Saturday of the game, I went and met him in a little office, and he said, "Right, if people want to go for a walk, they go for a walk. If they want to go in the gym and stretch or go in a hall, there's foam rollers or whatever. Just let them do what they normally do when they're at home."
Yeah.
On a Saturday, if they're not playing away, obviously in a hotel, but when they're at home, let them do what they would normally do. Go and have breakfast what time they want it. Go and do you know what I mean? Because in league games, it was like, right, breakfast between 8 and 10. We're all going for a walk at 11. Everyone's got to go for a walk. Knowing that some people don't do that at home, or do you know what I mean? So he made it, you do what you do on your normal day-to-day routine of a match day. And I think that's what he got perfect, mate, because some people went for a walk, some people went in the gym, done stretching, foam roller. Some people went to breakfast earlier and others went a bit later because they feel like they can eat a bit later. So, yeah, I'll say the preparation up to it was brilliant. He done it absolutely unbelievable, to be fair.
Yeah. And like you said earlier as well, it was almost perfect that you had some good penalty takers in the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, you won on penalties. What were the celebrations like after that game? I imagine you'd have some great stories.
Do you know what? The night, I was, by about 11, half 11, we was out in Manchester. So we went back to a hotel where we were staying. And there was a massive party, like some fans come in, like certain people come in. We had this massive party. And then we went out, like the boys went out. There's a load of us went out into Manchester. I was in there 2 hours in this club. And I said to my missus, I need to go home. I'm absolutely gone. Like, I was so tired. I don't know if the adrenaline and all the relief just come out of me. I was like, I'm going to go back to the hotel. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm done. I'm falling asleep here. Like, I was literally drained. It was crazy. So, like, we went back to the hotel. And then by the time I got back to the hotel from the taxi, I was back alive again. Do you know what I mean? So I just stayed in the hotel with the fans, like my family, my mates who come up. Like, we just stayed in the bar and had a drink. But even when we got promoted and we lifted the cup, I got there was 2 of us that got taken in for drugs test.
Right.
So Ricky Wellard, it was me and Ricky Wellard, and so he done these quick as. I was like, how do you need a wee straight after a game? But he went in there, he went, yeah, I need a wee. He was like, I was like, you kidding me? Me, last one, I could not wee, mate. They even got me non-alcoholic beer, 2 bottles to drink, and I still could not wee. For 2 hours I was in there.
Blimey.
Wow. 2
hours. I went in the changing room, so I did not celebrate with them. Like, there was all, I could hear them down the aisle. Like, I was like in a little room. It was like 100 yards up from me. You could hear them all celebrating, champagne like sprattering, and I'm sitting here like, are you winding me up? I'm just
typical.
winning goals, and I can't celebrate with my teammates in the changing room. And I went in there, and it was literally, mate, all it was my clothes and my bag, nothing else.
Oh.
So I'm in there, and I'm like, no music. So it was like a bit crap, to be honest.
Gutted.
But when I got on the coach, I walked on the coach, mate, and it just uproar, mate.
Yeah.
Like, the coach was just like shaking.
I bet you were determined to have a good time after that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, mate. But honestly, mate, by the time I got to like 10, half 10, mate, I was gone. I was just like, I needed to go to bed. It was weird. The next day was unbelievable. The next day, like Sunday, we travelled back and we went back to Kings Meadow, and I've never seen nothing like it, mate. Like, the car park to the stadium was just absolute rammo with people.
Wow.
So, like, from leaving Manchester till I got there, I was absolutely hammered. So we had 2 days of it. So I drank more on the Sunday than I did the Saturday.
Wow.
So I just think the adrenaline and the emotions and what's just happened just hit me.
I suppose that's a good thing about Wimbledon as well, is being so close to the fans as well. You said you were literally celebrating with the fans after you got promoted. Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's their club, mate. They're the ones that built it.
Yeah.
Back, you know what I mean? Too. So they deserve everything and anything. And that's what made it such a good club. Like, you'd walk in any bar you want. There was like a couple of bars you'd walk in and players would be in there. You'd be drinking with them or you'd be talking to them. And I don't think a lot of clubs don't do that. And I think they should have that little bit of interactive with your players because it makes it more better, I think. Like, I loved it, mate. Like, you walk out and people like chatting to you, like, just in normal, not even about football, just in normal life, which was really good. Do you know what I mean? It was unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then later on, of course, you then signed in July 2011 for your hometown club, Gillingham. I mean, that's every boy's dream, isn't it? Representing the club they've grown up supporting.
Yeah, mate. It was the only club I'd ever go to. Literally, unless it was like a Premiership club or whatever. But like if there was clubs I've turned down even during that season that come in, and at the end of the
Football league
season,
clubs.
what's that?
Football league clubs.
Yeah, football league clubs. Yeah. So it was so hard to like I say, like obviously what I've just talked about, how good it was there, and how much I loved the club. But I've always had the dream of playing for there. Do you know what I mean? I could have done it when I was 16, and it maybe if I didn't get rejected at 16, maybe I would have, because it felt like I had to prove a point.
Yeah.
But because I didn't get in through the trials, I was like, right now I'm going back and to prove everyone wrong that doubted me or made them lies about me. So I was more determined to go, because I was thinking, that person who ever made that lie about me, I'm going to stick it up there.
I suppose, yeah, you're right. It's sweeter that joining Gillingham at that time, when you've had that success for yourself, you can then go there and say that they rejected me through the trial, but then they wanted to come back for me and actually sign me permanently anyways later on.
Well, that's what I mean. They could have had me for free. Well, much less than what they did. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's mad, especially with the manager.
And I'm paying 60 grand for your services.
Oh, mate. Was it more than that, wasn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what it says online. It probably is more than that.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. I don't know. I thought it was more than that. Well, it should be more than that, mate.
Oh, you are worth more than that. You know that. But obviously, your first season back, you finished top goal scorer.
Yeah.
How did you find your first season? Back at your boyhood club, really.
Mate, it was just buzz. Didn't matter what was going on, mate. Just being around in the club was top goal scorer was like a bonus. Do you know what I mean? It was saying, like I say, like I've always dreamt of when I was watching them from when I was 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? My old man taking me down there to watch every Saturday. To even be the top goal, like it was my dream. I was like, oh, I'd love to imagine playing here and being a top goal scorer, or your name getting sung out. Do you know what I mean? Because I used to sing players' names. Do you know what I mean? So loved my name to be getting sung. So the first two games, I don't even think I had a song. You know, there's nothing was ever sung.
You didn't at the start. I think you midway through it got sung.
Yeah, well, I think
Super Danny Kedwell.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like the third game, home game, something like that. But yeah, so even listening to that, mate, when they started singing, I was like, there it is. Now I've made it. That's what I thought. I've made it.
Yeah.
So yeah, mate, listen, Gillingham's fucking. Oops, sorry about the language.
Don't matter. Cool.
But yeah, Gillingham, mate, is, like I say, it's something that I always look forward to every day going in, just being there. Do you know what I mean? Like I drive past it now, and I think, mate, I think I left too soon. Do
Really?
You know what I mean? I don't feel, yeah. I should have just stuck around and not let people get to me, trying to get me out of the club. Do you know what I mean? It was definitely that, because it weren't definitely playing because I was top goal scorer. So why would you get rid of top goal scorer?
Very true.
That makes sense, but
Martin arrived obviously in the summer of 2012. What an interesting character. Certainly, kind of from my point of view as a fan. I mean, first day you met him, what was your first kind of impressions?
Who's this lunatic? What is happening here?
What was the first? Do you remember the first conversation you had with him?
What was it? I can't remember. I think he was just telling me how good I was. How good are you? How good are you? Did you finish top goal scorer last year? Yeah. Well, that's good, isn't it? That's the way he spoke, mate. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's how he was. I remember. This is a good story, mate. This is a funny one. So we had to go upstairs in pre-season, and we had to write 2 things And it was like, I was like, oh, mate, I can't be doing all this. It's like being at school. Do you know what I mean? Everyone had to go in their own little bit. Blah, blah, blah.
What was the topic? What was you writing?
It was like what you enjoy in training,
right?
What you don't,
right?
And what was it? No, it was that? I think it's what you enjoy in training, what you don't.
Yeah.
Because Barry was. Do you know what I mean? It might have been a bit thingy. So I remember turning around to Adam Barrett and I said to him, Ads, I ain't doing this, mate. I went, it's like being at school. And he just started laughing. He went, just do it, kids. I went, I'm gonna tell him that I can't read and write. And he went, please, kids, please tell him that you can't read and write. I was like, shall I? And he was like, mate, everyone started cracking up, going, go on, please. So it was like being at school. So he said, go on then, off you go. So I put my hand up. And he was like, what's up, kids? And I went, can I have a word? And I was like, I don't want to say it in front of everyone. So everyone's like trying to not laugh. And he went, no, come on, we're in this together. So he was, we're in this together, you got to show. I went, I can't read and write. And everyone just died, mate, like proper cracked up. So he's like, no, don't laugh at him. Don't laugh at him. Gary, take him in there. So John Schofield took me in the snooker room bit. And he was like, and I'm thinking, nah, I've gone too far. I can't not go back now. I've said it. So John's like, what do you think then? I'll write it for you. So I've told him he's written it down. So the next day, come in and John Schofield's come down with kids. Gaffer wants you in his office. So I was like, oh, fuck, someone's grasped me up. Someone's grasped me up, mate. And so everyone's cracking up, mate. So I've gone upstairs and knocked on the door and he's like, so sit down. I was like, all right. And he'd come out, no lie, he'd come out with 2+ kids book, trying to teach me how to read. Right? And he said, follow this line, and I had to draw this line with a pen. Like, follow the line. Oh, mate, I was gone, mate. I was like, Gaff, I'm sorry, I can read and write. I couldn't do it, mate. He actually was going to teach me how to read and write.
Did he find the funny side of it?
No, he thought I was lying. I just didn't want to do it. I think it won until we was in Benidorm and won the league. I think I told him. But I don't know if he still remembers now. But I hope he watches this. Because, mate, it was hilarious, mate. I honestly, ask any of them boys what happened, mate. It was the funniest thing. But I couldn't go back on it. I could not. Because I've already said it. I was thinking, he's going to kill me, mate. He's going to go off his head. He's only just got in the door. I've only been in a couple of weeks. And so I had to go along with it. And I was actually dreading every day for about 2 weeks that he's going to get me back in to try and teach me. Which is good, to be fair. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Obviously, that summer, we saw the arrival of... I still look back on it, and it's my favourite ever Jill side, that we saw the arrival of, obviously, Adam Barrett. And then you go through Stuart Nelson then arrived. Obviously, Leon Legg arrived in the January later on. David Wright arrived, Stephen Gregory, Dion Burton. Just keep going through the whole lot. And it was players that had kind of been there and done it, got the t-shirt, won promotions, and it was then a mix. Obviously, Daki was coming through. Yeah. I've heard a story that Martin actually told us that Daki was on the brink of being released, and that Martin had said that his coaching staff a youth academy were about to release Bradley. He'd scored 24 goals, and Martin and asked why he was in the youth team. And then he told us about the France story of Malcolm passing out. Because he asked him to join him with a kickball session, and he ended up passing out.
Honestly, I'll shit myself, mate. I thought he was dead. I was like, no, he's killed him. He's actually dead. Mate, he literally had a fag in his mouth and he put it out and then come on. And he started running around like a headless chicken. And then when he actually fell, I was like, no. I was like, Ads, mate, he's dead. Keds, don't say that. I was like, mate, I think he's dead, mate. I was literally right next to him.
Wow.
And he was like, out, mate. And I was like, no. But his left arm was up in the air. And it weren't coming down. It was like, he's had a stroke. Do you know what I mean? He's like,
God.
thingy. And then, yeah, it was weird. And then the ambulance coming out and he was like, no, get off me. He come round. He didn't go to the hospital, mate. He wouldn't go.
No.
But it was hot, mate. It was so hot.
Yeah.
It was roasting. So I don't know if he was dehydrated, mate. Just fainted.
We go back to those players. We go back to those players that we spoke about. Different. Were they completely different to? Obviously, it's hard to compare that Wimbledon side, but obviously you go back to that Wimbledon side that were leaders. They were winners. Every day was competitive. How would you kind of compare the Wimbledon promotion side to the Gillingham promotion side? Did you always know that Gill side were going to get promoted?
I think in pre-season is the hardest pre-season I've ever had. Like
under Martin,
at any club, mate.
Yeah,
we were so fit; it was unbelievable. Like he had the talent, but I think that might have been the thing with us. Like we had such a good team, we could have got promoted from League Two with the team we had. Like when I was first, but I think he didn't get the best out of them players. Do you know what I mean? Which he could have.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Where we were fit, that's just a fiddle, but always kept on top of it, even through the season. Do you know what I mean? That was different. Everyone was fit as hell, mate.
Really?
But yeah, I think in Hesse's time there, my first year, there was a few bad eggs, which I feel sorry for him because I think he knew that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't. That group that we had there, I don't know, it just clicked, mate. It just literally pre-season in France. That's when I knew that we've got a great chance of getting promoted here, just with this group.
Well, you talk about being really, really fit. Was that down to a lot of the hard work of James Russell?
Yeah. Listen, all of them jumped in, done certain things, but yeah, James was ledge. He knows his stuff, mate. James.
Yeah.
And he was a good lad as well. Do you know what I mean? He was one of the boys.
Yeah.
As well, it weren't like them and us. It was all of us.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we had at Wimbledon. It was Terry Brown and the coach staff and us. As where I've been with managers and it's like coaching staff, then the players. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we was like in it together, mate. It was frightening. Like, we had everything, mate. We had experience, we had legs, and that's what Martin did. He made sure he had legs around us, like his boy. Do you know what I mean? He weren't the greatest footballer, not the greatest footballer, and he didn't never get the credit that he should have because the amount of running he used to do and tackle and be a nuisance.
He was the fittest in the squad, wasn't he?
Oh, he was frightening, mate.
Yeah.
He was ridiculous. He could run all day. He could run all day. But it was like he'd win the ball back and he'd just give it to someone else because he knew his job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you had the qualities all round. He recruited very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. With the players who obviously he had. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? The only shot one I ever that I thought he shouldn't have got rid of was Barry. That was the only one.
Yeah, did he let Barry go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only one I was thinking, cool.
And that was when Barry then went to Barnet?
He went to Barnet, yeah.
Barnet, yeah. And we ended up then playing against them, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Took them apart at the Underhill.
That's it, mate. 3-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You scored a header.
Yeah.
Jack Payne scored. And Dion Burton scored a header as well.
Mate, has he scored that goal, by the way?
Yeah. Unbelievable strike.
He's back-headed
yeah.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
Rising above Barry.
Back-headed it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why then.
Yeah.
Martin knew he was too small.
Barry let him do it.
Right. But yeah, mate, listen, like that. Yeah, like I say, we just had everything. The group was magnificent, mate.
At what point did you realise that this is it? We're getting like in terms of game wise. I know we spoke about pre-season. You knew in pre-season, obviously, the side. But was there any kind of standout game from that year that you thought, yeah, you know what, this is it?
Do you know what? I think it probably. I don't know. Probably the Bradford game at home. We smashed them 3-1, wasn't it, or 4-1?
That was the second home game of the season.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was early doors, mate.
Wow. You knew that early on?
No, because we played Bristol City, didn't we, as well?
We did, yeah. You were captain, yeah.
Yeah, and even that day we won 2-1, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then that Bradford game, I was like, mate, we're going to win this league, mate.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I actually thought we were going to win this league, mate.
You scored that unbelievable lob.
Oh, yeah, it was decent now, wasn't it?
Very good.
Yeah. He was... Go on.
I was just going to say, like, you also managed to score in that last game against Torquay United, where you actually got promoted. Yeah. What was your recollection of that day as well?
Mate, that's up there with the Wimbledon goal, mate. That I don't know. Honestly, that was a blur that day. That after that, when we got promoted and obviously scoring the goal, like I said earlier, mate, it's a dream, isn't it? It's a kid's dream for your boyhood club, and you scored a winning goal. You get promoted, but after that, I just thought we got to win the league now. That's because it ain't been. In my livelihood, I've never seen Gillingham win a league, and to be playing in it and winning the league, like actually being a player and winning the league, it's nothing better. It's nothing better. I just want to know when the next one will be. Hopefully, I'm still here, mate.
You never know. You might
celebrate different.
You might be the manager of it, kids. You never know.
Oh, well, hope so, mate. You never know. Hope so.
Obviously, after that Torquay goal, we've spoken that even to this day, you fought for the Torquay goal that you'd hit it too late, and it ended up kind of flicking off a defender's leg and going in the corner. Yeah. But let's talk about the Wimbledon game. You ended up very nearly sending them back.
I know, mate.
Obviously, you scored the second to make it 2-0. Was it the second that made it? Yeah. You didn't celebrate. But if they're not equalised that day, they might have ended up going down. That must have been a bit of a weird day for you, because obviously you knew at the end of it, if it was a positive result for Gills, you were going to be a champion. But it was also kind of, if we'd won the game, you might have well ended up sending Wimbledon back down. That must have been a strange day.
Oh, mate, the night before, mate, I couldn't not sleep. Honestly, I was just thinking, please be a draw. We only need a point. Well, I can't even remember that. Did we? Do we need a draw only if the other results went for us?
We only needed a point, and we would have won the league.
Yeah, that's it.
End of. Wimbledon needed a point.
They needed a point, but then it gives them things to go and beat Fleetwood, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they didn't. But, if they'd lost, then they would have been bang in trouble. Yeah, mate. Listen, I remember clearly, mate. I was just thinking, please be a draw. That's it. Yeah, I was thinking, please. But when it went 2-0 and I scored, I was thinking, oh no, this could be 4-5. Is that why you said sorry? Because I remember seeing kind of the highlights from the goal where you scored, and you actually turned round to the Wimbledon fans and hold your hand up. Yeah, I was like, sorry, because I was just thinking, oh no, like this, all that day where Terry was telling me, like, getting back in the football league, you'd be a hero, like, you'd be one of the heroes to get them back and blah blah blah, and then you do it, and then
send them back down. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no way, this could be the worst day in my life. This could be like the best, but worst. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have known how to celebrate.
No.
It was like, I definitely wouldn't have celebrated in front of them like I did. Do you know what I mean?
No. Were you the reason at half time then that we turned up? We didn't really turn up second half, did we?
Yeah, I said, give them 2 goals. Give them 2 goals.
Did you go in and say, you know what, boys, we've done it now?
Yeah. Nah, mate, listen, at the time, like the night before, like I said, I was worrying about it. I was thinking, oh, God. But when you're actually playing, you don't think about it.
No, of course.
But until the squad was setting, I was thinking, oh, no, they're going to go down. I remember it, mate. I was like, oh, no. But to be fair, I think it was Luke Moore or Sammy Moore. I can't remember who it was, one of them two. It was like, Keds, mate, you've got to let us score. Like, come on, talk to your lads. I was like, go out, mate. Go turn around to them and go on, go and score. It's like, we're going to get relegated. It was quite banter. It was actually funny, mate. It was funny.
It obviously it did go for you. We would have stayed up. You got to put the medal around your neck. Lift the League Two title. How did that feel?
Yeah, well, there's nothing better than being a champion. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I've had playoffs.
Yeah.
But I've obviously won the league with Wimbledon at Conference South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's only 2. Yeah, so 2. Being a champion, mate. Can't beat it.
No.
Would you say that was the highlight of your career?
It's definitely the hot. Yeah, winning the league with Gillingham.
Yeah.
But there were 2. Like obviously getting Wimbledon back in the Football League. They're 2 different emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because one was kind of a massive pressure moment. As much as you didn't feel it, one was a complete pressure moment. The other one was kind of, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they're both the biggest highlight of my career. Anyway, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
To win a Football League with your own grown team, you know what I mean? Like you've watched the rest of all your life. To win a league that ain't been done in, was it 50 years?
50 years. 50 years.
So, yeah, to be a part of that history, it's mental.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the following year, let's move on to the year after. Martin obviously lost his job in the October. Martin Allen lost his job in the October. Weird, considering obviously you won the league. We thought that obviously we'd start the season flying. He'd lost his job kind of 3 months in. How did you feel as players? Weird? How did it feel?
I don't know. Listen, I think the second year under Martin, I don't think he was as eager as what he was in the first year. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it was just not. It weren't the same.
Right.
I don't know if it was because we had new players come in.
Yeah.
Upset the I don't know. Everyone, listen, mate. Everyone was alleged to come in. To be fair, like as people, but I don't know if it upset what we had before.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, you all got to sign new players. Do you know what I mean? To push on again in that league.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. It just didn't click. Like I say, it didn't click for him again.
Yeah, because
like
obviously we signed
3 months. But I still do think if he'd have had longer, we was just turning the page.
Yeah, we was. Yeah, because he just won back-to-back wins.
I listened to what he said the other day, and he done one the other last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he did a podcast for the Jules Fancast. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was spot on because when you become champions and you go into another league, when do very rarely teams go flying again?
Yeah.
They always come up late, don't they? And if they get a double action. And I think we beat Crewe or something away, I think. Yeah, we did. We won and he got sacked, didn't we? Didn't he? We won.
No, so we'd won back to back, and then we lost, and then he got the sack.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe. Look, listen, you don't know, do you?
No, of course not.
But I do still think that we was just turning the page.
Yeah, I mean, two forwards I want to mention to you that come in that summer. Cody obviously arrived permanently for his second spell with the football club, and then Bayo arrived as well. And obviously we then had yourself, Cody, and Bayo. Speak a little bit about them two. What would they like to work with?
Oh, mate, they're quality, mate.
Yeah.
They're such good people as well. Listen, I don't know it as well. What went wrong there as well was obviously the year before I was the target man. That was it.
Yeah.
And then obviously when he put Bayo in, it was like, here play, I play, here play, I play. Do you see what I mean? It was like tossing between me and him all the time. And even when he had a good game, do you know what I mean? It'd be like, I'm playing the next game. Or, do you see what I mean? It was like...
Yeah.
And I think that might have been a bit of a problem as well. Not between us, do you know what I mean? Fucking Bayo's different class, mate. You can't beat a better person than him, mate. Like,
really?
He's such a lovely geezer, mate. Friendly giant, mate. He is.
I mean, after that, got you? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but mate, listen, Cody is what he is, isn't he, mate? He's such a good reader of the game and where to be, and such a good goal scorer. But yeah, it was always between me and Bayo, mate, really, that year.
Yeah.
It was always between us, do you know what I mean? Who plays and who don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where the year before, all the years I've been there, I was the main target man, do you know what I mean? Or the same as him. Any club he went at, he was always the main target man. So, it was a bit hard that few months.
Would you say you could build any momentum as well because of it?
Sorry, mate?
Would you say, like, it's good having, like, two good strikers like that, but if you can't build any momentum, would you say that was, like, a bit of a downfall?
Yeah, do you know what the downfall was? I think we used to say it to each other. Why don't they just play both of us? Why has it got to be one of us? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it was like no managers ever believed that we should play more together and get that partnership. Because if the others ain't working, why not? Do you know what I mean? And that we used to sit together all the time. I don't know why they just don't play us together. Or play all three of us. Do you know what I mean? Play me on the left or the right of Bayo, and Bayo down in centre and Cody on the other side. But it never really happened. No. Until the Wolves game when he come on, and there was three of us up front, we won 1-0. But they just didn't know how to tell me.
Speak about Ebbsfleet. The call come in 2015. I think I was coaching for you at the time when it happened. Coaching for PFA. You run me. I still remember this conversation. You called me up and you went, James, I'm going to Ebbsfleet. They've made me an offer on going to Ebbsfleet. I tried to beg you to stay, but you weren't going to have it.
Couldn't be running.
Yeah, I mean, what was because obviously at the time they were not only bringing you in, they were bringing obviously the likes of Matt Fish, and correct me if Alpha Football League players. There was a few others in there that they were bringing down. It was Jamie Day that signed you, was it? Was it Jamie?
Mate. Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah. Jamie. What was it? What was it about Ebbsfleet and why Ebbsfleet?
It just comes down to the Wimbledon thing again, mate. Like they had a plan that they wanted to get in the Football League again, and I had that drilling in again. Like I wanted to do that again.
Yeah,
great experience. You know what I mean? So I want to get them back to, and obviously they had a good backing and players they were signing. Like I say, you speaking to Jamie, and he's like, "Look, I'm getting these players in. I've got this player to be honest, we should have smashed the league with the players we had. Like, we let him down, to be honest. Like, because we should have done better than what we did.
Wow.
But yeah, it was the whole factor of that, mate, really.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to move. Didn't want to move away, so I wanted to stay local.
Obviously, I think it was the pull of the academy, wasn't it? I think
exactly.
Part of the move was that you were coaching there, weren't you?
Yeah, because I spoke to Peter Varney and he was like, look, we've got the academy here. We put you academy manager. I want you to build it, and this is for a future for you.
Wow.
So that pulled me in as well, and I was like, in my 30s then, do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, I'll build something for when I retire.
Yeah.
You said you let the manager down just then. I was just thinking, if we go into that a bit more detail, where was it that you thought that you did let him down? Just
by our performances, really, mate. Like, with the squad we had and the players we had, like, I just don't think we played at our best. Do you know what I mean? I think we took it for granted.
Do you think there was any reason for that?
No, not really. I can't put my finger on it, to be honest, mate. It's literally, until after the season, you just think, mate, I don't know what happened there. Like, we should have done much better than what we did, especially with the players we got. Do you know what I mean? And look, 7 or 8 of us all played in the football league. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that shouldn't be. We shouldn't be losing to teams that are nowhere near as good as us as quality. But I don't know if that come down to, like I say, the hard working bit of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, footballing wise, we had the ball most of the time, but when we didn't have the ball, did we work as hard enough? Do you know what I mean? You always question it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Any sort of things. Do you know what I mean? Did we do this enough? But I don't think we did.
Obviously, the following season, I arrived there with my mum. Yeah. I know for a fact you speak, and you still speak very, very highly of Daryl.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was the year that he first come in. You won the playoffs.
Yeah.
Speak about that year with Ebbsfleet, and what did he do to make that side different to what was the side under Jamie Day?
I don't know, mate. I think he just got the right balance.
Yeah.
To be honest. He got the balance right. And we had a strike force of me and Matty Godden that just was unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
Like, the partnership. When you get a partnership like that, you're hard to beat, do you know what I mean? Because they score 3, we're scoring 4. That's the mentality we went into. It's weird. Do you know what I mean? It was very, very mad. But the first year, we lost, didn't we? Playoffs final. First year under Darryl. Lost on penalties to Mason, didn't we?
Yeah.
No, I missed it after scoring 2 in the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I should have listened to Peter Taylor, shouldn't I? But no, yeah, the second year, mate, the balance was completely frightening. Like, we should have won the league, to be honest.
Really?
But yeah, we should have won it.
Yeah, because obviously that playoff final, you actually were 10 men.
Yeah, Cookie got sent off.
And you got brought off, didn't you?
He brought me off, but literally, I had like 5 plates and 10 pins put in my arm, didn't I?
Yeah.
About 5 days before, because I broke my wrist.
I remember that, yeah.
Before that, and then I couldn't get in till like 5 days before.
Yeah.
So I missed the. I come on sub in the 7th or 2 weeks. I had it on the Friday, and then on the Tuesday we played. On the Saturday we played Hampton at home.
Yeah.
And on the Tuesday I was on the bench and I come on the last 2 minutes, and I was thinking, what am I doing here, mate? What am I doing? Playing and hit with my arm like this. I've only had the operation 10 days ago. Yeah, and then I started in the playoff final, and then Cookie got sent off. I knew I was going to come off as soon as he got sent off.
Yeah.
At half time, because.
As well as kids, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the year that the Aldershot game? It was a super. Was that year?
That's the following year.
Following year in the Conference Prem.
Yeah. First year in the Conference Prem. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was some game, wasn't it? live on BT.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your first year back in the Conference Prem. Very good side. One of the best goalkeepers in the division, Nathan Ashmore.
Yeah.
You had a very, very good team. Dean Rance was very good in that midfield for you. That was a game live on BT. You got brought down for the penalty. Took it yourself. You decided not to smash it.
I know, mate.
But you did end up obviously smashing it and nearly knocking the goalkeeper into the net in the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
I still remember that game from now. It's one of the most exciting, infuriating games. I feel like an Ebbsfleet fan by the end of it.
Mate, it was the most mad penalties I've ever seen.
Yeah.
3-1 down, they had 2 penalties to win the game. I was thinking, that's it.
Yeah.
And all I was thinking, mate, it's all my fault. We could have won this game 1-0.
Yeah.
But if you watch the penalties back, even Jack Connors will have to take tees. The penalty spot, mate, was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was up high, but as you run, you sink.
Right.
Right near it. And that's what happened to my first penalty. Because I was explaining to Matt, as I've gone to hit it, my left foot just sunk, and I've just lifted it a little bit without even kicking it.
Yeah.
So in the other penalty, I put it behind the penalty spot.
Right.
As much as I can, because to the side of the actual penalty spot, it was proper boggy. So your footing went a bit. Yeah. So I put it behind a bit and then smashed it. That's what I was going to do in the first place. But no excuses, mate.
No.
But mate, it was one of the maddest penalties days ever. That was crazy, mate. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, because you then went on to Tranmere. I think. Yeah, it was crazy at there because it was at their place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were leading, weren't you?
2-1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-1, mate. And as soon as it went extra time, I knew we were done.
Really? What? Because of
what?
Mate, because the Aldershot game must have taken it out of you.
Yeah, and they had 7-day rest.
Yeah.
They had played on the Saturday, last game of the season, and then they played on the following Saturday.
Mm.
We played Wednesday, extra time, on the Wednesday as well.
Yeah. Extra
time and penalties, and then you're travelling again. So you're off Thursday, travelling again Friday to play Saturday.
Yeah. You think that was a little bit unfair? The way they scheduled it?
I think so, mate. I do. At least give it another week or so to recover. But that's just giving everyone an advantage, isn't it? Whoever's finished second or third.
Well, that's why they've done it like that, haven't they?
Yeah. Because, even when I was at Wimbledon, we finished second in the league under Crawley. We finished on 90-something points. Do you know what I mean? You might not get promoted.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
Did you ever kind of feel like that year, that first year, that, hang on a minute, this might be another Wimbledon, we might end up in the Football League here, or did you not, was it kind of, you were exceeding
when we went 2-1 up, I
expectations?
was thinking, yeah, mate, literally, when we went 2-1 up, I was thinking, mate, if we go to Wimbledon, we're going to win it.
Yeah.
I just thought if we get to the final, this is what we need to get to, this final.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought it was going to be something like that. So, play them many games that team would go and win it. That's what I thought. The first year of it, that'd be it. But
do you think the squad was ready though, or do you think it was already overachieving?
No, I don't think it was overachieving because the players we had. It was such a good team.
Yeah.
Player-wise. Maybe it was meant to be because of what's gone on financially.
Yeah.
Off the pitch. So maybe that was a good thing, really.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be getting the Football League and that happening.
Following year, obviously, kind of ended up turning a little bit sour. Off the field issues, massive issues with obviously the owner and things like that. You guys not getting paid and things like that. Was it a disappointment the way it ended at Ebbsfleet?
Yeah, it was, mate. To be honest, yeah, it was. it's one of them things, isn't it? I don't know. I can't really explain what went on, what happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hear things, but is it the truth? You don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that, mate. Really.
Yeah. I think the lack of words says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Exactly, mate.
You're at Havant now.
Yeah.
Obviously, before this COVID stuff has come in, involved and got involved and stopped all football. How's life at Havant?
Yeah, it's all right, mate. Yeah, it was good. Like, bit of pain that all this come on because I think we'd have gone and won the league, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we was on a good run. 3 points behind. I know they had a game in hand, but they had to win that. And then with 8 games left, you don't know, do you? But
no.
we was like 3 games on the spin wins as well. Unbeaten away. Mate, lost away all season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shame, really, mate. Shame.
Yeah.
Plans
to get into coaching? I know you spoke about it earlier. Do you see yourself in management?
Yeah, I do, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Thanks,
right. Go on.
Yeah, it's something I want to do. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I'm at that stage now. I'm 36, coming at 37. I'll start looking into that.
Yeah, so we asked you to pick your 6-side team. Well, I asked you to pick the 6-side team that you played with. Probably a bit easier than an 11-a-side team. Go on in, Dan. Give us your all-time 6-side team.
Mate, I've got the goalkeeper is hardest, I think, because I played with 3 unbelievable goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nels, Nathan Ashmore.
Yeah.
And Paolo. I'll probably have to say, to be fair, I played in a tournament with Ashmore at Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, and he didn't do too well. He's better in 11-a-side goals, mate. So
you're going to go with them?
I'm going to go with Paolo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll go Paolo because he's really tall and all, isn't he?
Yeah. Paolo Gazzaniga.
Size goals.
Yeah.
So I'll go Paolo in goal.
Yeah.
I'd go John Egan.
Yeah.
I'd go Adam Barrett.
Yeah. Going 2 at the back.
I'll go 2 at the back.
Yeah.
I'll probably go Barry because he can get back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Barry Fuller. Yeah.
2 at the back. Barry Fuller. We've got 2 more, no?
Haven't you? Yeah, 2 more. Yeah.
2 more. I'd say up front, I'd go. Who would I go? Well, this is another one up front, mate. Do you know what? I'll put myself there.
Oh, yeah? You're backing yourself?
Yeah, I'll put myself there.
Go on, then.
I'll put myself there, mate. And then Bradley Dack.
Yeah. What's this side team that is? So, Paolo Gazzaniga, John Egan, Adam Barrett, Barry Fuller, Bradley Dack and Danny Kedwell.
Yes, mate.
What a team that is, eh?
We've got the 2 legs in midfield doing Ryan and Adams running.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan. Brilliant, mate. You've been excellent.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, thank you for watching Inside the Changing Room. Keep liking, watching, subscribing to us. We've got loads more characters coming on, telling their great stories. Dan's been absolutely brilliant. We obviously wish him all the best.
Cheers, mate.
And his coaching as well. Yeah, and cheers to Jacob as ever.
Cheers, Jacob, mate.
Yeah, and this has been Inside the Changing Room.